You're good to go, Karen.
Like it says, please stand by. Is that?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order, Commission on Aging and Disabled Special Meeting, June 3rd, 2020 at 1:05. First is the Pledge of Allegiance. I have a picture of a flag.
Actually, Karen, before we do that, can I take attendance? Because I can't see everybody.
Computer, dude. Oh,
Okay, sure.
Okay, Pat Hanberry? No. Karen Brecker?
Yes.
Kathy Sobieski?
no,
She's not there?
she's not here.
Okay, Terry LaPenta, Defuk?
She's here.
Mary Udis?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathleen Sobieski is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am here.
Okay. So Kathy, Terry, Mary? Is Mary there?
Mary Udice is here.
Okay, Sandy Nathis?
Yeah, I'm here.
Maureen Lynch?
Maureen is
Maureen
here.
there?
Yes, she is.
Shailene, is she there?
Shalene is not here.
Okay, Diane, you're there. Jamie's there.
Yes,
I'm here. Gail Bedraco is here as a guest.
yes,
Carol Annis?
no,
No. And Dave Nagel.
I'm here.
Anybody else? Okay, when you do talk, since I'm doing this audio, I'm not doing it as a Zoom meeting, but I'm doing it audio. Please say your name when you're talking so I know who you are. Thank you.
Is that you?
Okay.
My cell phone, that's the problem.
Pledge of Allegiance. It's Karen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public participation. Do we have any?
Am I?
Hi, Gail.
Hi. Are you going to use the raise hand feature or what? Did you want me to use the raise hand feature or just to go ahead?
sorry, I think that formally you would use the raised hand because people could be guests on here.
Well,
But I'm
then,
okay
okay.
if you raised your hand.
I've raised, okay. Can I go?
Sure, go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Since this is your, yeah, the other Gail, this is Gail Bedraco.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks. Since this is your last meeting till September, personally, and frankly, on behalf of the town, I just want to express appreciation and gratitude for the senior center on how you've managed this quarantine issue. Diane, you and your staff and the volunteers should be proud. And I mean, I'm proud of you, and I think the town council is, as well as many people in town. Really recognize the needs of your members, the physical needs, the social needs, the emotional needs, and you really came up with an awful lot of creative ways to engage and address them, from the food delivery to the grab and go meals to the offering of shopping, your activities for the computer literate and for the not so computer literate, and also that weekly outreach. It's a phone call, but it's an open offer to, have anyone contact you with any of their concerns or needs. And it really, I think, provides a sense of comfort and inclusion. So I just want to thank you and your staff and volunteers, Diane. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Dave Nagel's raising his hand.
Hi, Karen. Hi, everybody. Can
Hi.
you hear me? You can hear
Yes.
me? Okay.
Yes.
I echo what Gail has said on behalf of the council and also personally. Having received the phone calls, Diane, thank you so much each week. They're very informative. All the services that are available are really tremendous for our town residents. And while Jerry and I have not had the need to take advantage of them, we appreciate that phone call and everything else that you're doing. Aside from that, I'd like to mention that I think since the last time you met, the council has set their budget for this past year. And included in that budget is your request for replacing windows. So that remained from the beginning to the end on the budget, and it is included there. And also for those that are interested who haven't been told previously, the mill rate, and correct me, Gail, if I'm wrong, the mill rate is 39.28, and that's a reduction of 0.17, or in terms of percentage, 0.44%, which means a slight reduction, and yet services have remained, and the council has been able to take care of needs of other sections of the town without having to raise taxes or increase the mill rate. And that's all I had to say for the moment, unless somebody has a question, or maybe you want to address that later on with those in the council that are on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else like to say anything?
Can I just say one more thing? I'm at work and I might have to like slam shut the computer really quickly or close my door because I'm kind of like on my lunch hour. So if I disappear, you know, everybody have a good summer.
Thank you, Gail. Anyone else? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of March 4th. Any changes or from commissioners or anything that needs to be changed or added or deleted? Okay, if I hear nothing, I'm assuming it's okay. We have staff report as the next item on the agenda. Diane?
Yep, and I apologize if I talk a little bit more than maybe we usually talk. Actually, I may end up talking less. If we go back to March, and when I look at my the report that I initially prepared for March, it started as business as usual with programs at the center. I've got to tell you that I had a conversation with Charles Brown, who is the director of the Central Connecticut Health District, in around March 10th. At that time, we had already put signs out about washing your hands, and we were starting to social distance people. And he, in a conversation, coached me on the reality of the situation. And we closed the center to the public on March 13th. That's probably, at that time, was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. In retrospect, there shouldn't have been a lot of thought needed to go into that decision. It was the right thing to do then. It's the right thing to do now. A couple of years ago, we revisited our mission statement at the Senior and Disabled Center. And with your input and your approval, our mission statement became really simply that the Newington Senior and Disabled Center improves the well-being of older adults and adults with disability in our community. And we have gone back to that mission statement over and over again, because that's what we are here to do. And it looks different now, and it looks different every day. We actually started having staff meetings here on a daily basis because things were changing so quickly. We wanted to all be on the same page, and we wanted to all be able to respond. And we go back to how do we improve the well-being of older adults and adults with disabilities in Newington? So I can tell you kind of quickly, and Gail, thank you very much for your comments. Not only both you and Dave do we appreciate the recognition, but also you kind of laid out my staff report for me with what we've been doing. So our first thing was looking at food service, and really the last thing that that had to fall into place for us to close our doors was transitioning our congregate meal program. As you know, we would have between 50 and 80 people come in here every day, Monday through Friday, for a hot lunch. And for some people, it was an issue of food security. For some people, it was an issue of social engagement. And for some people, it was both. So we really wanted to have an alternate for those people, especially for the food security issue, before we closed our doors. CRT put in a grab and go meal option. So we continue to do Meals on Wheels. That hasn't changed. The grab and go meal option, instead of people coming in here for a hot meal and giving their donation of $2.50 or whatever they decide to donate, CRT is providing a frozen dinner, similar to what a Meals on Wheels dinner looks like, but these are frozen, as well as a dairy product, a fruit, a snack. 2 dairy products usually. No, 1 dairy product, sorry, a fruit and a snack. They started out doing that daily, and we had people that would come in and pick up their lunch. People that we brought here on Dial-A-Ride, we were delivering their meal to them. That transitioned to a weekly food drop. So we just finished the food distribution today. We are serving now between 60 and 65 people every week with that program, where we're getting all of the frozen food and the boxes of other foods. We have bags, it's all hands on deck, sorting the food, packing the bags, distributing them, and we have about an hour and a half to do that every Wednesday. So we're now about 65 people there. We have about 45 people that we're doing everyday home delivered meals. We also are doing, of course, the town's program for people that have food security issues is the town food pantry. We're working with them. We refer people to them. We're also doing deliveries for them. So our Dial-A-Ride program stopped providing routine transportation to people. The only transportation we provide is critical, non-urgent medical. So critical means you can't not go to the appointment, things like dialysis. And non-urgent means you're not sick. We're not transporting sick people. So that really limited how many people we were taking. Our Dial-A-Ride drivers really transitioned into being delivery drivers. But we're now delivering, I think, every day but Wednesday for the food pantry, their food pantry bags. So that's our food service. We also recognize that the orders are for people, or the recommendations are for anybody who is 65 or older or has a serious health risk to stay home. So there's people that they don't need to go to the food pantry because they don't qualify, they can afford to buy food, but they can't go to the grocery store. So we very quickly, and JB Trevathan did most of the work on putting this together, a volunteer grocery shopping program. We recruited volunteers from the community, and I know Maureen Lynch is there, and Maureen too was somewhere in the background, was one of our early volunteers. So we've got 2 generations, which is kind of cool. We recruited volunteers. We're not able to properly screen volunteers that we would have going to somebody's home. We consulted with the police chief. We really need to do a state background check on people. So the system we created is one where people call in their grocery order to us. We contact a volunteer and give them the list and a gift card. They go out, purchase the groceries, they bring them back here, and then Dial-A-Ride delivers the groceries to the residents. So it's a confidential, contact-free grocery shopping program. It's worked out very well, and I can tell you somewhere how many people we've served on that. To date, we did 54 shopping trips in May. To date, we have spent a total of $4,691 in the grocery shopping program. We're fronting the money for that, but people are paying us for the groceries. And to date, we've collected $38.84 on that. So we're really up to date. People are paying us back for the groceries. We decided early on that it was better to lay it out this way, to take the chance that somebody wouldn't pay us, than to try to, take money up front and have to do that accounting. So it's worked out very well. And I anticipate that we'll continue to do that. One of the issues we're going to face is that as people start going back to work, we're going to start losing some of our volunteer pool. I'll be putting something out today probably about recruiting new volunteers. So we're going to be looking for more people to do that. One of the other things that's happened with this is we have a great volunteer cadre here at the Senior and Disabled Center. And almost everybody that volunteers here is over the age of 65. So that's the population that is supposed to stay home. So we're not recruiting from that pool of people because we're not putting people at risk to go out and help other people who are at risk. So it's been kind of interesting in that regard. While the building has been closed, we've gotten a little bit of work done. With the facilities department and the cleaning company, we've had all of our floors cleaned, all of the lights. There was a project to upgrade all of the lighting to a more energy efficient lighting. That was done. Councilman Nagel mentioned our windows. We did, our windows we knew needed to be replaced, but they actually started really leaking. So those are in the CIP. Our windows are going to be replaced. And you'll notice if you drive by soon that our parking lot is going to be under construction. Our front parking lot has needed to be resurfaced for a pretty long time now. And now that we're closed, it's a great opportunity. So this is a great town effort between the highway department, the facilities department, parks and grounds, and the engineering department. The building department, the Senior and Disabled Center have all collaborated on this parking lot resurfacing project. So we're going to be getting new lights in. Our parking lot, anytime you upgrade something, you have to upgrade it to the best ADA compliance. We were lacking a sidewalk that would go in front of the cars in the handicap parking spots. So we're going to be getting those walkways. We're getting new lighting. We're going to be getting rid of the lighting that's in the middle of the parking lot that has over time been hit many, many times by many, many vehicles. So we'll be getting rid of that. So we're really excited about that project. That could only really take place without disruption right now. So that's the food service things that we're doing and the facility things that we're doing. You're all aware because most of you were there, we did our annual volunteer dinner. We really felt that it was important to do. This was something that was already budgeted. It was something that we do every year. And we have volunteers who commit themselves to service to us every year. The only thing that we tangibly do back is a dinner. We couldn't do it in person. So we thought we can figure out a way to do this. And we did. So we worked with Italian Gourmet for the meals. We delivered, Jamie, how many meals did we deliver?
71 or 72? 72, I think.
72 meals that all arrived. The deliveries were all done within about 20 minutes so that people would have their food at 5 o'clock. And then we did a live show on NCTV. So I think we got a lot of positive feedback. People seemed to appreciate it and seemed to enjoy it. And it was nice to be able to do something that we normally do, even though it's anything but a normal circumstance. So happy about that. In terms of outreach, that's been a real challenge because older adults are asked to stay home more so than anybody else. We're not providing transportation. And we have a lot of people that were already socially isolated in the community. Now everybody is becoming socially isolated in the community. So we initially started with doing telephone outreach calls, and all staff were doing those. Just going through our lists and calling people to say, are you okay? Do you need help? And we're here for you if you need us. We continue to do some of those calls, but we started doing the weekly robocall as well. And this is a call, I do it every Friday. I really don't have much to say most times, but it's just our way of letting people know that we are still here. And every week we get a few more people that will call us to say, you know what, I didn't need something then, but I'm kind of thinking I might need something now. So we want to continue to offer that opportunity. And James, is there a reason the recording has stopped?
Hasn't stopped on my side, so I'm not sure if somebody else was recording it individually.
Okay, I just got an audio that recording has. All right, so I wanted to point out that the weekly robocall was a system that we already had in place. And I'll give you guys the nod. We presented this a number of years ago through our database, My Senior Center. We had an opportunity to have advertisements hosted on our kiosks in our building. And in return, they would provide us with this ability to do robocalls. And that was something that you all agreed and had input on. So congratulations, it was great to set that up because it's probably been the #1 thing that people have commented on, that we're doing this weekly outreach. We also paid a little bit extra to make sure that the calls come from a Massachusetts number, but we had the number masked so that it looks like it comes from us. And that's been critical because we've had staff try to make calls from their own phones. They block the number and people don't pick up calls that say unknown, even though with everybody not us, but everybody in the world that's working from home now, I'm sure that you've all noticed that you're getting a lot of calls that say unknown. And it's because people are using their personal phones to make work calls. So really happy to be able to make those robocalls. We're also looking into a new program that comes from the Motion Picture Television Fund. That's a daily call program where we're hoping that we'll be able to adopt that. There's a training program involved. We'll be able to recruit volunteers because a robocall is great. An actual conversation with somebody is a little bit better. And having that time to chat and to really connect is important. So we're looking forward to maybe being able to adopt that program. We've also moved into doing virtual programs, and through the town support, we're able to do Zoom programs. We are just wrapping up our Aging Mastery program. We were one of 2 sites in Connecticut that was able to do it virtually. And I don't think that we might have been among the only 2 in the country that were doing them virtually. So it's worked out incredibly well. And it's remarkable to me how much doing a Zoom program is like doing an in-person program. It really has been a little bit seamless. So our biggest challenge in doing virtual programs is getting the participants for it. A lot of the people that were coming to our programs don't have the technology to engage in it. And a lot of people that even do have the technology have kind of not moved into using that. So we're looking forward to working with, and there's a statewide effort to try to get the technology into people's hands and get the training into people's hands, because even for telemedicine and for program access, it's going to be important. I could talk a little bit about reopening. People ask us when we're going to reopen, and the answer is we don't know. It's ultimately not so much my decision as what public health says that we should do and what the town says we should do. I am working with other people in the state on looking at senior centers and when it might make sense for us to start doing something. You know, the days when we can throw open the doors and have lots of people coming and going and playing cards and sharing things, that's a little bit too far to look out. I think our first thought is, when can we have people come in to apply for renter's rebate? You know, when can we do those one-on-one things? So we're going to gradually move into that. But even if we're open, there's still going to be a lot of people that are not going to be able to come out for quite a while. So the virtual program idea, I think, is one that's going to be with us for a while. And we've always been kind of on the leading edge of things, and we intend to stay that way because Newington residents absolutely deserve the very best. Our garden is one program that has continued. You can't do virtual gardening. You have to have people with their hands in the dirt. We have worked with public health to be able to safely do that. Our garden volunteers are tremendous. They are coming in one at a time, and we now have the entire garden planted. They are maintaining the garden. Another issue facilities took care of for us is they created an irrigation system where instead of having one hose that gets dragged around, they now have, I think, 6 different faucet stations, so that there's soaker hoses in some of the beds. And it's just a phenomenal thing that was done in-house and will really help the garden. They had their first harvest today, which you can see on Facebook, which is another thing that we're doing, is we committed to posting more regularly on Facebook. We are reaching more people there. We're doing Facebook Live, which is always embarrassing afterwards because it's me standing talking to myself usually, but it is what it is. So we're really working hard at reaching people, sticking to our mission of improving the well-being of older adults and people with disabilities in Newington, and continuing to try to find new ways to reach people. I think that's everything for my staff report. Amy, did I miss anything that you think is critical?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so let me just end by saying we have been very fortunate with the town support that we've received in being able to kind of be creative and do the things we need to do. I could not be more proud to be a Town of Newington employee right now, and even more proud about the people that work here at the Senior and Disabled Center. They have gone above and beyond. They've stepped out of their traditional roles. They've been creative, and they are absolutely committed to their jobs and to the people in Newington. So I hear a lot of the credit, but it absolutely belongs to the people that work here, and I couldn't be more grateful for them.
That's great. It's nice to hear lots of great programs going on. I've been watching Facebook and watching some of your programs and having fun. We're into old business. Purchase requests. Diane, are there any purchase requests?
Yeah, so we put that on there. This is a special meeting, so we can only talk about what's on there. We kept that on there just in case anything did emerge. We have no immediate purchase requests. It may happen over the summer, again, as we're evolving and doing different things. The technology issue is kind of the biggest one, where we don't know if there's going to be a need for us to provide assistance to people in the community in accessing technology, and whether we want to make purchases. But I don't have anything right now. So you can move on, I guess.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is new business membership renewal fees.
Yeah,
Diane.
so we have an annual membership here at the Senior and Disabled Center. It goes from July 1 to June 30th, follows our fiscal year. So at this time of year, we send out our membership renewal forms, and we usually send it out with a form to update your information. We do a survey, and we may have other information that we send out. So we want to send out our membership renewal. What we're looking at is, we've been closed since March. We likely are going to be closed for a little while longer. People do pay us $5 a year for residents, $10 a year for non-residents. Most of what we've done, everything that we've done pretty much, has been directed only at Newington residents. We're not reaching out kind of to our members from other communities. But we really feel that we should waive our membership fee this year in recognition of the fact that we're not open and people are not coming here, and that even though older adults have maybe not been as economically impacted, everything is costing a little bit more. We also believe that if people are given a choice of, do I renew a membership for a place that I'm not going, they might say no. And we would rather keep them as a member than collect their $5. We will, though, as we do every year, ask for a voluntary donation. And we collect about as much in donations every year as we do in membership. And I can tell you that our membership dues are generally anywhere from kind of $7,000 to $9,000 a year that we collect in membership dues. And we collect about the same amount in donations. I have a feeling, just based on the reactions that we're getting from people, that waiving our membership fee might not cause us any loss of revenue, because people will make donations in lieu of that. So before we went ahead and did that, we wanted to present it to the commission and get your feedback on it.
I think it's a good idea. I, for one, usually give a donation with my $5 membership, but they can't come to the building. And we'd like to keep them as a member. Anyone else have an opinion on that in the commission?
Kathleen.
I think it's a good idea. I'll just add my
Kathleen is muted.
donation.
Maureen Lynch was speaking.
I think it's a very good idea, and I will just add my $5 onto my donation.
Kathleen Sobieski.
Yeah, I think that's extremely, generous to do for that, especially like you said, if a lot of people just automatically maybe give a, extra, then I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anyone else?
This is Sandy. Yeah, I totally think it's a good idea, especially in these times.
This is
Anyone
Terry.
else?
I agree.
Did you say you agree or disagree?
I agree. No, I totally agree.
Mary?
I agree as well.
Do we need to take a vote, Diane?
I was kind of gray on that because clearly for me to spend money, you need to vote. I'm not sure for me to make a decision to not collect money, but it doesn't hurt to.
Okay. Is there someone who would like to make a motion?
This is Sandy. I make a motion that Diane waive the membership fee for the period effective July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021.
I'll second that emotion.
Is there any discussion? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. How do we do that, Gail? Do you want to ask each one of us, or can you hear?
If you ask all in favor, if you ask none opposed, I don't know, maybe James has thoughts on that, but if nobody is opposed.
Okay, anyone opposed? Okay, I guess we heard no one opposed, so it passes.
We good on that, James?
I'm not sure. I see a one phone call in listener and I don't see Gail there any longer. So I'm concerned that she somehow got dropped off, but we do have this as a transcription as well through this service. So we can supply it to her. So she has that information for everybody.
She said she just got cut off.
Okay.
Do we wait for her to come back?
No, I can record it as a vote.
Okay.
As James said, we have the choice. Right.
Okay, so we're up to the agenda for the September meeting. Do you want to keep the standard agenda? Is there anything anyone wants to add?
So I can't imagine thinking past June, let alone thinking to September.
So since we have old business and new business, I think we can add in what we need to if anything should come up. So let's, Gail, are you back?
She's not.
Okay, so let's keep the agenda as we usually do for the past meetings, not this meeting, but for meetings past. Is there any public participation?
Ms. Pedraco is raising her
Sorry.
hand.
Go ahead, Gail.
No, a discussion about waiving the fees. I agree with that, but I was just curious. I raised in my mind, since the coffee shop and gift shop is closed, is there any I mean, I don't know how much money that makes, but is that going to be anticipated kind of a income loss. So you might want to, when you're crafting your membership letter, just kind of also, you're doing this because of blah, blah, but, also recognition that, income is down because of the coffee and gift shop. So hopefully you'll be able to increase your donations or something.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. We haven't really factored in the loss of revenue. And the coffee shop is not a huge revenue generator. The gift shop is a little bit more so, but we should absolutely acknowledge those.
I still think it's more important to have the members come back than the $5 a person. So that's more important in my mind.
Yeah. So I'll just add to that, in everything that we're doing, we're still not reaching a lot of people. And like the robocalls are all based off our membership. So if we lose people on it, we lose the ability to reach out to people. We know for a fact that even though people may not contract the coronavirus, staying at home means that people are not, first of all, they're suffering from social isolation, which has real health impacts. Secondly, they're having a lowered activity. So we have people that maybe come here for lunch every day and go home, and they're not getting that social contact. They're also not getting that getting up, getting to the bus, getting on the bus, getting off the bus, walking to the center, walking around the center. That lack of physical activity means that people are at a higher risk of falling. And we've heard about people who are falling. It means that people advance into frailty much more quickly than they would have. So it's really important to us to retain the members that we have, and to maybe even look at how we can do some membership outreach and membership campaign to bring in more information and more people so that we can work at connecting them. We've seen through this pandemic lots of heroes, right? Everybody, a lot of people are called heroes, and they are doing heroic things. And we encourage everybody to be a hero. You can be a hero by contacting an older adult and spending time with them, by encouraging them to get out for a walk, by talking to your neighbors. You can, save a life just by getting somebody up and moving a little bit. So I don't know if anybody will watch this, but in case they do, we encourage everybody to be a hero and to engage with older adults and people with disabilities in the community.
Any other comments?
Dave Nagel has his hand up.
Yeah, I'd just like to second Gail's comments that I do think waiving the membership fee is an excellent idea. It shows not only just in conversation how much the commission is concerned about people, but here's an actual action aside from the volunteer things that you have done, the things that you've provided that I'm sure is appreciated by all, and has been pointed out by Maureen Lynch, for instance, that indeed many may donate that and more because of that fact.
Thank you. Any other? Is anyone calling in?
Kathleen Sobieski.
I just have a question. I know just before everything started, whatever, was that fitness area that was done by AARP, was that up and running? Was that completed, or at, over at was it Leclerc's or
Clemmer Park?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So great news. It was completed and it was installed and it looks beautiful. Not so great news. You can't use it. It's part of the equipment that can't be used yet. There is supposed to be a grand opening. Originally, it was going to be in June. I think it's scheduled now for August. And that will be kind of played by ear, depending on when it's safe for older adults to be coming to a park and exercising. So yeah, it's there and you can't use it.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mary?
Will you be sending out an announcement, like for an official opening, if we can go to it?
You will get a formal invitation to that.
Okay, thank you.
This is really Parks and Rec is the lead agency on that. They're working with AARP. And again, this is AARP in honor of their 60th, I think, anniversary, committed to putting one of these parks in each state. And Connecticut's park is coming to Newington. It is in Newington. It'll be at Clem-Lemire, but AARP is kind of throwing the whole party. So, and you will all be on the list of people to be invited.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So I did do a TV program with AARP that was recorded on Windsor TV, where we talked a little bit about that and about the other grant we got from them to do benches that are also installed. So I don't think I've shared the link very widely yet. We'll make sure to share that. So.
What benches are you talking about?
At Clem-Lemire, they're not benches, sorry, they're accessible game tables.
Oh.
So they're like picnic tables, but they're not, like they're tables that you can eat on, but there's an inlaid checkerboard or chessboard, whichever game you like to play. The idea is that we'll provide the chess or checker thingamajigs, men. I don't know if we'll be able to do that or if people will need to bring their own, but the idea is that people can sit and play games. And those tables, I think, are between the older adult playground, Fit Lot Park, and the children's playground.
And
Mary.
did
I know, I'm
AARP
back again.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karen, go ahead. I just had a quick question.
Go ahead, Mary.
I just wanted to know if one side of the table was wheelchair accessible.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
And who put those tables in? Was that AARP as well?
Yeah, so at the same time as Connecticut, Newington was chosen for the Fit Lot Park, we had applied for and were given an AARP Connecticut grant to do the tables.
Ah,
So it's all from AARP. One's national, one's the state chapter.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments from the public?
I probably should have mentioned too, our gardeners just got a $350 grant from the Master Gardener Program. Every year they've been successful in getting a small grant for the garden.
That's great. What is that for?
It'll just go for operating costs in the garden. They spend money on plants, on soil, on, I'm not sure what else, equipment. So it'll just go into their account for garden expenses.
It's great. It's quite a sight if any of you have not seen that garden. It's amazing.
And if you haven't, go on Facebook. There's 2 Facebook Lives now that are garden tours. We have to stop calling it a garden. It's a farm.
Yes, it is. Sorry about that. Anything else? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Gail, did you wait? I'm not sure.
Wait, we have somebody in the
Okay.
hall.
All right.
Are we done? I mean, I don't know.
Can we have a motion to adjourn?
I can make a motion to adjourn if you would like me to.
Sure.
Second. Kathy Sobieski.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So moved.
So just for Gail's benefit, Gail can hear us but can't see. We can't see her. That Mary Udice made the motion and Kathy Sobieski seconded. Okay.
Thank you all for zooming in.
Thank you. Nice to spend Zoom time with everyone.
Have a good summer, everybody.
Summer.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I can't get out of here.